Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod.
Welcome.
Look at how shiny my face is.
Your face looks really good. Actually, this
Glass skin.
I have to turn Natalie way the fuck down.
I'm here.
All I hear is glass skin. I'm like, oh my god.
Everyone just wants to hear me.
That's the kind of introduction I need all the time.
I need to start recording.
Rooms.
I know. I just ordered some Retin-A online. Actually, on PSA, I paid, it was $29, but I got it for $19 because it was my first one. Amazon Pharmacy, and I had to do an Amazon appointment where I just sent pictures and sent things in. And I'm like, I want Retin-A because I heard a lady on the podcast and my sister used it and I really liked it. And they're like, okay. And then they're sending it to me, and it cost $16.
$16 ain't bad.
And then it was a $19 one-time meeting fee, like doctor fee. And then now it lasts for 3 months, and now I pay $16 every 3 months. And I'm like, it's crazy how that's gonna change your skin so much. And then people are buying like $100 serums that go out within a month. And then anyways, we'll see how that goes. I'll be on a glass skin game too.
You gotta purge first.
I'm gonna purge, but I'm planned it out properly that during the dead season, we're in slow season. I'm not like, I don't wear makeup every day. I'm not like, I could hide away for a little bit, and it's worth it. I'll just purge.
It took me a few months, but then look at.
I know
it looks really good.
Purging.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was peeling. Actually, sometimes if I'm not careful, not careful, but like my routine. So you have to do your retinol, Retin-A, whatever on one night, and then on another night you need to use something that's exfoliating. So I use salicylic acid. You don't mix them, but you have to alternate, because then when you shed all the cells for the Retin-A, or when you produce more cells on the Retin-A, then you have to shed them all off. So
You weren't doing that at first, were you?
I was not. So then my pores just kept getting clogged. Like, it was pushing them all out, and then all the dead cells were sitting on top of my face. And then I was just washing it with my hands, and it wasn't exfoliating it off. So then I was getting super clogged pores. So they were like, I use a physical, not a scrub. I use a very gentle washcloth, like in the morning. So it literally peels. It peels layers of skin off.
I wonder if you could exfoliate in the morning and then use Retin-A at night.
Well, when I exfoliate, I just very gently use a washcloth, like just more than my smooth hands. But I exfoliate technically chemically every other night. So I do Retin-A, and then the next night I do salicylic, and then the next night I do Retin-A, and then the next night I do salicylic. And then if I have any like weird breakouts, I'll do like a benzol for one night.
What percentage Retin-A do you use? We're a skincare pod now, guys.
0.05%.
Oh, okay. You see, I start with 0.025.
Yeah,
that goes.
I could have probably done that. I gave myself lots of chemical burns at first, so.
Oh, yikes. But yeah, anyways, the lady I was listening to, she said that she's been using it for 20 years, and still, if she puts it like right here, like by her nose folds and like really delicate parts, it'll still peel for her. And so she's like, I just gotten really good at it.
That's like the worst like area too, is like around my nose folds.
You can put lotion on first.
Okay.
Put lotion on first and in those spots, so then it's like a barrier.
Okay. So I know off camera Katie is limited amount of time, and we said that she could go first, but I'm too excited. I want to tell
Liv wants to bulldoze her way through.
Well, I actually never said that she could go first. So
no, I just said that she should if she has to go, but I'll just go last.
That's okay. I'm okay.
But mine is for Katie, so there's really no point in me doing it if Katie's not here.
Okay.
So I will keep it short. I probably have like a 10-minute one. So if we're all done with intros, I'm gonna just jump right in. Jump right in. So now it's for Katie. Oh, I did not. Do you remember those random days in elementary school when a stranger pulled you out of class and handed you a little pink cup of juice, put giant headphones over your ears while you sit in a tiny room doing puzzles while weird tones played in the background? If you do, you might have been a part of the GATE program,
Yes.
aka the Gifted and Talented Education Program. But
Mm-hmm.
but if those weird isolating testing days weren't just about measuring intelligence, what if they connected to something much older and much darker? Today, we're diving into the conspiracy that GATE wasn't just an enrichment program, it was the quiet continuation of MK Ultra and the CIA's real mind controlling project, and somehow all of this leads to strange place thousands of people say that they visit every night in their dreams.
It's true.
It's Mahler.
I swear
A
it's
place known
true.
as Small World. Okay, so if you guys have listened, and I don't know why you wouldn't have. Katie covered Mall World a little while ago, and it was super interesting. And then I was listening to a podcast about Mall World, and they didn't just stop at like the Mall World. They continued on to the why, and I'm gonna get into that today, and pretty exciting. Basically, we'll do if for you beginners out there, or a little recap on what MK Ultra really was. So before we get into GATE, we have to talk about MK Ultra, CIA's real declassified mind control program that ran from the 1950s to the 1970s. MK Ultra experimented with hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, without the subject's consent. One of their strangest techniques was called psychic driving, looping audio message tones or repetitive instructions for hours or days while the subject was sedated or isolated. When the program was exposed in the 70s, the CIA destroyed most of the files, leaving only fragments behind. MK Ultra isn't a conspiracy theory, it's documented history. And so what was GATE supposed to be? On paper, GATE was harmless, a standard gifted and talented education program created to support advanced students. Schools used to give it the gifted kids creative tasks, special projects, and cognitive enrichment. And then a shift. The way kids were selected for GATE and the strange experiences many of them had during testing, that's what sparked the conspiracy. Um, the universal memories that former GATE kids report is the drinking the pink juice. All of them say the pink juice were given before testing, tasted strange like nothing they've ever had before, made the kids feel calm, tired, and spacey, and often described it as not normal mouthwash. Also, you don't swallow mouthwash, so they're not getting the kids drunk out there. And then there's the headphone sessions. So they're big over the ear headphones. Now, I remember this, but I thought it was just like a hearing test. And now they do say that they did this mostly they started it in the 70s, and then they were doing it in the 80s and 90s. So it was probably on its way out by the time we were in elementary school. Katie probably was.
I remember doing it twice. I did. Sorry to interject. I did the one actual hearing test with the hands up or whatever at the nurse, but then I was in a special reading class. Maybe it was for the gifted kids, maybe it wasn't. But I remember this had nothing to do with it. I remember sitting at a table and taking turns. We had to walk away from the table and sit down and put these things over our ears. Maybe we had juice. Put these things over our ears, and it was like the tones, but like they didn't care what ear it was in. It was a weird over the head thing that Mrs. Brand did with us.
That sounds exactly what it was. Because they do say that they did like the normal like checkups with the ears, like the hearing things, and that's what I remember. And I think I wasn't in elementary school until the 2000s, so that would have been done by then. So you probably experienced a little bit of this, especially because of your Mall World ties. Anyways, the headphone sessions, usually puzzles while the tones were played. So you'd be doing something while the tones were playing, feeling watched, done by adults who weren't normal teachers, they said, for the most part, and they were told not to discuss with classmates. There were also repetitive cognitive tests such as pattern recognition, memory drills, hyper-focus tests, unusual instructions. And then the room itself, sometimes said to have felt medical, sometimes had a one-way mirror, dim or overly sterile, emotionally unsettling, or even decades later. But I don't really think that they would have built that into each school. I find that to be odd description. The feeling of being chosen was often part of this. Kids remembered that they were told that they were special, being pulled into private rooms, being evaluated by outsiders. These overlapping memories from people across states and decades are what made the theory explode online. Now, you might recall a series of odd noises, beeping, CIA, and I'm going to do a little callback to the Monroe Institute. Now, I couldn't talk about this and MK Ultra and everything without talking about the Monroe Institute. Remember our episode? They basically, it's a research center where they studied audio frequencies, binaural beats, and patterned tones to alter consciousness. The CIA literally studied at the Monroe Institute. They trained in the gateway process because they believed sound could induce trance states, change awareness, and affect perception. They could not affect precipitation. I mean, they probably could.
Maybe
but,
we could.
We probably could. That is a theory we have not tested yet. But basically, this is where the conspiracy theory claims the gate tones come from. That the beeps, patterns, and isolations were watered down versions of Monroe's audio manipulation techniques used on kids. And then basically, we're going into the theory that gate is MK Ultra 2.0. Basically, just early psychological profiling. The idea that gate wasn't just testing intelligence, it was testing emotional regulation, disassociation, pattern recognition, susceptibility to suggestion, stress response, focus under sensory influence. Basically, like early cognitive fingerprinting. The tones weren't just like soft psychic driving. This was MK Ultra and the Monroe overlap seen a lot there. The psychic driving was used repetition and sensory manipulation to reprogram behavior. Monroe used tones to alter consciousness. The theory says that Gates' tone tests were the child-safe intersection of both. So they just kind of watered it down a little bit. The juice is a big part of all of this. Was sedation or compliance testing. It was believed to be a mild sedative or a placebo to observe behavior change when taken. Could have been a suggestibility starter or simple misremembered fluoride rinse for few chosen students. Up to you. Basically, psychologists say that this could all be explained by false memory, mixed childhood events, standardized testing, or fluoride programs in schools. And maybe that's all it is. But
I think standardized testing is a big part of it too. And I think they still use it. MK Ultra.
What do they give us?
No, they want to find like someone brought up the whole like Tyler Robinson thing and like the lone shooter. They're selected out of these schools because you always hear they're like, oh, it was like a gifted person, like really smart. And I think they were tested on and then somehow brought into the MK Ultra program. And then because they always have weird ties to government and like interesting.
We need to dive into this further later then because that is a good theory. I mean, it's public school. You're basically just signing up to do whatever. Anyways, we're exploring something a lot darker today. What happens when thousands of people remember the same strange rituals and then start dreaming of the same strange place? Mall world is a term for a place thousands of people claim to dream about. A huge liminal shopping mall with odd lighting, endless hallways, escalators to nowhere, and a creepy, nostalgic 80s to 90s aesthetic. Katie, do you get the 80s to 90s aesthetic? Ooh, what makes it chilling is that many of the people dreaming of this mall will say they were gate kids. Constant details. There's the dim gold lighting, empty fountains, nostalgic but unsettling. No other real people, like people that they, well, you say that you beg that to differ, that you see people that you know there.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I saw people that I know, but there are people that I know in my everyday life right now.
Okay. Stores with no names, a feeling of being observed, back rooms that look like gate testing rooms, signage that beeps or flashes, a training area or control room in dreams. Someone says it feels like a place that was built for us, a place we've been going since childhood. Why does Mall World exist? Nobody knows. But some creepy explanations are maybe we're just collective dreaming, childhood nostalgia, liminal memory storage, patterned architecture, dreaming archetypes. But what if what we're exploring is much darker? Dun dun dun. Mall World is a mental construct created by early frequency exposure. This matches the Monroe Institute's focus spaces. Mall World is a disassociation zone triggered by childhood conditioning, a mind hallway built from tones, isolation, testing rooms, and sensory deprivation. It says Mall World could also be the meeting place of gate kids, where they shared conditioning, shared dream, and geography. Mall World is a psychic holding zone for MK Ultra tried to map, like a little mind space. Basically, when I heard the the big Mall World stuff going up, I wasn't thinking about why people were dreaming of Mall World, but I did think that it was a very odd. When I heard this reasoning, I'm like, wait, that all makes sense, because that's all like Monroe Institute and all of that happens in between being awake and dreaming. Like, he's big on controlling your dreams and controlling everything. So what if this is just everyone's in the back rooms, kind of like in that in between zone, and Mall World is that modern day in between zone, and you're able to reach that because you've already done the first book of the Monroe Institute when you were in the GATE program, and so you're just open to that. So
That's an interesting theory because similarly, I didn't think about it that way. But a theory that I've heard is essentially you're practicing like astral projecting, lucid dreaming, and Mall World is a controlled environment where you can go and walk around and talk to people and get stuck on the elevators. And I'm always trying to get out of the resort, but I can never get out. I'm trying to go to the beach, but I'm stuck in mall. I'm stuck working at the mall. And so everyone, like, there's a whole conversation about that being like, okay, well, that's like, you have to consciously think while you're dreaming to problem solve. Like, your goal in your dream is to get out of the mall, to get through the resort and get to the beach, but you can never do it. So, and there's different obstacles. I'm always getting caught in the elevators. I'm always, doing these things. So it's like you have to practice. So like if I went to sleep tonight, I'd be like, okay, last night I remember I got stuck. I actually have to go to the staircase. So I don't know. I think it's interesting that then if the gateway in schools was like level 1, now the dreams you're practicing this stuff is level 2, and then is level 3 like you said, Monroe, like
know.
out in the world projecting around.
So
Unless that's like a memory that
stressed
they give you.
at Mall World? Like, do you feel eerie, and are you stressed at Mall World, or do you feel
I'm
like,
super
oh,
stressed.
this
I
is
get caught in
fun?
the elevators.
Yeah.
I'm always in the elevators. They're falling down. I'm never getting hurt, but the elevators are falling. Mall World is connected to a resort, but I only see the outside of the resort in like this weird monorail thing, and then I go in, and then it's a dark green, like a dark green, darkly lit hallway, and I'm not scared in there, but it's like, okay, come on, like the beach is waiting, let's go, and I can never get out. Let me find the elevators. Oh, and then I forget the details of my actual when I went to work at the mall dream, but it was with my current people that I work with at my college, and we were all like, "This sucks. Like, we don't want to work here anymore." So then we went to we told our boss, and he was like, "Fine, go find another." Go find somewhere else to like work. And then we all kind of scattered and we were just wandering around, and I went into like a Victoria's Secret, but like, yeah, there was people there I didn't know. It's not that they didn't have faces, but I wasn't like interacting with people. I was just like head down, like walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm saying this, I'm remembering more Mall World dreams, which is crazy. And there's a lot of me just walking.
You have a lot of them?
I have. Okay, you're reminding me of some too. It's like I'm always in the elevators. Like, I've had a lot of the elevator dreams, but I'm coming to terms, like, I'll remember this while I'm dreaming. I don't think I have lucid dreams where I'm like, you are dreaming. This is a dream. But I actively choose what I do in my dreams. Like, I choose what I do in my dreams, like what I'm doing in real life. But I don't think I know that I'm dreaming, because there's a lot I dream about things at work, and I feel like I'm at work, and I'm clocking in, I'm making money, and it's like my actual work. There's people that I actually used to work with there, still work with, and like I'm usually like telling off my manager that I think's a bitch. And I know that I'm like, this feels so good, and then I wake up and then I'm like, oh,
It's not
that was a
real.
dream. But like I'm not just like actively watching. I'm like choosing what's going on.
Hmm.
But I don't know it's a
That's
dream.
actually a good point. I don't know if I'm actively watching from a third. I don't think I'm watching from a third. I think I'm the one there supposedly watching the
Like
like making
doing
these
it.
decisions.
Yeah, but
Like
it's
I
hard.
do.
Like people say that lucid dreaming is when you have the ability to do what you're going to be doing in there. And it's like I always choose what I do in my dreams, but I never know if it's a dream or real life. I'm just like, this is just my world and I'm doing things.
That sounds
And
like lucid dreaming. Like I don't feel like I'm choosing. Like yes, in my dream,
mhm.
sure, my character, if you want to call it, is getting keeps going to the elevators or keeps trying to find the beach
Why
or
is she
like
at the
wants
elevators?
to quit the job and then go find something else, or like I'm just wandering through these endless stores in the mall. But I don't feel like,
It's a conscious choice.
This
yeah, I
makes me
just feel
want to
like my
bring up
body's walking on through there. Here we go. We're going this way.
my Garmin Connect because I
Oh,
have pretty okay stress throughout the day and my stress peaks when I sleep. Um
mine does too, actually. I
like
looked at this
I'm
recently.
and I think I'm like, why am I stressed out when I'm sleeping? But yeah, look at this. From I fell asleep at 10 and I have just peaks of this is while I'm sleeping. But like during the day, I'm fine. But I'm really stressed out when I sleep, and I think it's because I'm making all these conscious decisions
Huh.
while I'm asleep. It's
Mine
really
does this.
odd.
I don't wear mine every night, but mine does the same thing. It'll tell me, like, when I wake up if I got a restful sleep or not. And
Hmm.
more times than not, if I have a really in depth dream where, yes, I'm like running around, I'm at the mall, I'm doing this, I got to go to work, I got to find the beach, I got caught in the elevator, then it'll say, like, you didn't sleep restfully. And then I can look because I've been actually trying to wake up and look at the time. Like, I find I have my most, like, detailed dreams not in the middle of the night, it's like early morning. So I'll look at the time, and I did this like a couple weeks ago, and then like
Mm.
go back to sleep, and then I'll remember the time. So then when I go look at my Garmin, I can look at the chart, and then I'm really stressed like around that time.
See, that's odd because
Weird.
I think I have the most chill. Like I think I have the most dreams when I'm trying to wake up too. Like I'll wake up and then I'll be like, no, it's so nice. Let me go back to bed, and then I'll
And then
like
that's when it happens.
I started picking up my dreams where I left off, which is something I always tried to do when I was little and it never worked. But like when I wake up and I snooze my alarm, I've been able to go back into the same dream, which makes me think I'm lucid
Mm.
dreaming. Like I've figured out at least that part of lucid dreaming where I'm like, this was nice. I want to continue this.
See, I only remember dreams like when usually it's right before I wake up, like in that section of sleep. So I feel like, I guess when you're good at lucid dreaming, you're good at getting yourself into that like in between consciousness. Because if I'm like in a deep sleep or like in the middle of the night, like if I don't remember a dream unless I like remember right when I wake up, like I just came out of it.
Yeah, and sometimes like I'll wake up from a nightmare in the middle of the night and I'll remember
Mhm.
that like the next morning.
Yeah. And I feel like it's when you're floating just under like awake in that like zone of sleep.
But you're
So
right. There will be some I don't remember from the night before if I'm not doing it exactly when I wake up.
I wonder why that
I looked it
is.
up real quick about
Yes.
about like why do you dream most vividly in the morning, or like right before you wake up, and it says most people have vivid dreams in the morning because of REM sleep. This is the stage where most dreaming occurs. It gets progressively longer and longer throughout the night, with the longest periods of REM sleep happening right before you wake up. Um, During REM sleep, it's rapid eye movement, which is freaky.
Mhm.
Um, the brain is super active, and that's why um, you have these vivid dreams. So I'm curious, if you look at your stress level, Liv, somewhere on there, there's another chart. Does your stress level correspond with REM sleep? Because it'll tell you on that chart when you're in REM or not.
Ooh, I just clicked on
It's
stress.
like a dark
Intensity
blue.
minutes. Sleep. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I could look
Anyone
this
else?
up while someone else goes. Let's see, 9:21 a.m. I was actually really um let me see the day before. I slept a lot. I have to pull up both charts side by side and see, but it's very
You,
like it's very calculated. Like it's very
yeah,
like the cycles are what's it called? And
I'm
I'm
one of them
always
that was
waking
for you.
up. I'll be getting okay, so when my alarms go off, I'm waking up in REM. Like I'll be in REM sleep and then my alarm's gonna go off and then I wake up, um, turn my alarm off, fall back asleep, and then I'm back in REM, and then I wake up again.
That's probably why you're going back into your dreams. You're dreaming, you wake up, and then you go back into the brain activity sleep. So you're
Yeah,
probably stressed during that also.
that's probably why I'm like, oh, let me just sleep.
That's
Anyways,
very interesting.
that's what I got.
Well, I love to hear more about this every time like new things come out. It's just interesting. The more we talk about it, the more like I don't know weird memories I have, which I won't get into now. But like I spend a lot of times in malls, which is so odd in my dreams. But something that you said was about frequencies, and that's kind of what my topic is this week. And we're bringing back
Ooh,
our boy Nikki Tessie for this one.
Love
So
that guy.
Nicky
the
boy,
smartest man
a
on earth.
man.
So this initially came up a few weeks ago when I was trying, remember all of my manifestation, and Nikola Tesla, Nikola Tesla, Nikola Tesla kept coming up, and I kept being like, no, he's not a manifester. He's an inventor. He has so many cool ideas. But then I actually heard, like, looked into it, and his famous quote that he would always say, he said, quote, if you understand vibration, you'll unlock the keys to the universe. And
What?
so he did a lot of, which I'm not going to get into, at least on this one. He was a super big believer in crystals. So the crystals had to do with the vibrations. We're not getting into crystals. But
Yes.
he is talking about like the mind and talking about people. So each person has a vibration, each person has a frequency. So it's not just our body, our little character, like I kind of talked about the last few episodes. It's not just our little body, our little character walking around. Remember, we were saying our consciousness, it's so much bigger than us. And that's why sometimes people are feeling vibes. And like, think about like this bubble. Like, if you're a bubble person walking around and I come hang out with Liv, my bubble is intersecting with her bubble, and we're like kind of feeling out vibes. So basically, what Nikola Tesla was saying, he said, so everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. So like some people are higher frequency, some people are lower frequency. Your table is technically vibrating at a frequency, and that's why we can like see it and feel it. So if there, he was explaining, which is so interesting for back then, that if you want to manifest something or you want to improve something, you need to now change your vibrations to match the vibrations of what you will be like in that state. So for example, if I'm a sad couch potato and I naturally have low vibrations, I'm not out there changing the world, I'm just depressed, I'm sad, I'm hanging out, like my vibrations are low. And I just keep saying, I wish like I could blah blah blah. When you're manifesting and you're trying to improve and change, you have to literally start with your vibrations, says Nikola Tesla, which is an interesting idea.
Fake it to make it.
Fake it till you make it. So that's why when they say that you're manifesting, you should picture how something, like, how does it feel? How does it smell? How do you look? What are you feeling? What expression do you have on your face? Like, what things do you specifically see? Because you're like essentially priming your vibration to match the vibration level of whatever state you're trying to get to, which is interesting. So the idea behind it essentially is everyone and everything in the universe is a form of energy that vibrates. So again, that goes back to energy, frequency, vibration. So obviously people have more, like humans and animals and living beings have more complex vibrations than things like tables and computers and pieces of wood. Interesting. This made me wonder. I just wrote this down. Do you think when someone says like I just get bad vibes, like our vibes don't match, like I can't be, I don't know. I don't know if that's too surface level, but I do think in some like how they were explaining it. Like I have a vibration slash frequency, and Nat has a vibration slash frequency, and when we're around each other talking, like your frequencies do mesh. And like if Nat's vibe, like her frequency is just really low, and mine is like manic and really up here, like that adds into like like you're emotional. You're like, whoa, I just don't really like this person. Like it just feels weird.
I mean, I experienced that on the daily with one of my coworkers.
Yeah.
And like it's honestly like I give off, I'm going to describe myself, you might not feel the same. When I'm at work, I give off chill vibes. Like I want my customers to be like, I don't want my customers to see me in a rush, but I want to be fast. Like I'm kind of like, my goal, which I've been working to do and I feel like I strive, is that I kind of like, I look calm but I'm moving fast. Like I'm getting stuff done, but I'm always like smiling at the customer. I'm always like talking to them like, hi, how are you today? Like how can I help you? Even though I'm straight to the point. And now I have another coworker. She's a mess. She's like a jittery in every single move. She's moving fast, but she's so messy and so clumsy that she's slow. And like she just comes off hectic and like really bad clashing vibes between the two of us when we're working together. And then her vibe gets me angry. And it's not even anything that like it is everything that she's doing actually, but it's just like it starts at the core, the vibe that is off. And I'm like, if you could just be calm and then be a little slower, then it would be a lot better than you being just a hot mess moving like a little tornado over there.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. It's not only her actions, it's literally just like her aura, her
It's
energy
just the vibe.
that she's not the vibe giving off. So if you go more scientifically into this, and I don't know if this is from Mr. Tesla or not,
Nikki
but
boy.
basically the idea is that your brain emits these frequencies, so it's coming from your brain, your body's vibrating. That was Tesla's thing, but your brain gives off these different frequencies in hertz. That's how you measure them, and they explain them like it's super connected to your emotions. And if you talk about emotions are energy in motion. It's like vibrating, it's dissipating out. So I don't have a graph for you, but I could take a picture of this and we can post it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels, and they're all names that you definitely have heard of. But the beta is so these are all brain frequencies. So when it's like super slow, that's when you're sleeping. That's like beta brain frequency. Then there's theta, TH. You could be like awake in that groggy state, maybe when we're like trying to dream or doing anything weird, like we're in that weird, like you can feel emotions, you can do whatever, but you're not really like with me thinking. Most people exist in the alpha brain wave, that's in the middle. That's probably where Liv is existing. Like she's with it, she's thinking, she's on it, she's not too crazy, but she's not sleeping, she's level-headed. That's where most people are. And then on top of that, I put beta twice. Maybe that's another one. I don't know. There's one above alpha, and then there's gamma. Gamma is like chaos, euphoric, like super, super, super tight waves. So basically your brain is giving off one of these 5 at all times. And you can change, if you're sleeping, obviously, then you wake up and you're existing, but people exist in different levels. So essentially your brain is giving off these hertz waves.
Let's say you wake up like let's say you wake up just like calm that day, and then you're like, can you give off different vibes and different like hertz levels each like different days?
Yeah,
okay.
like different. It goes along with your emotion is like your energy emotion. So like your coworker, she's chaotic, she's zooming around, she's making mistakes, like she's probably higher than the alpha one. And then that brings me to my last point, which is like kind of connected but kind of not. But this brings it back to what's his name? The guy we were just talking about.
Nikola Tesla. Oh, Monroe
No.
Institute.
Monroe / like anything. I'm curious what you think about this music wise. So Tesla, he said that the magic frequency that it's like to listen to, everything is at harmony when it's at 432
there we go.
hertz. Can you hear me? Someone said there you go.
Yes. We lost you for a second, but you're back.
Oh, okay. So the magic
Have
frequency
you
is 432 hertz. What were you gonna say? How do you?
have you heard things at that?
Yes. Yeah, I'll send you things.
Okay.
This is supposed to like help with deep sleep. It helps with your nervous system, like to repair. Things are naturally played, like music wise, these days at apparently like 440, and that's supposed to induce like chaos within you. Like if you hear the difference between someone playing something at 432 hertz versus 440 hertz, like the 432 is super calming, and but then for as soon as it goes up to 440, like you feel it in
I
your
think we
chest.
talked about this.
Yeah, I
I
think
think we
Liv
have
mentioned
two.
it. So basically, like, how do you attain? I don't know. I just think it's interesting that it goes along with like if we're talking about like astral projecting or lucid dreaming and like being aware of our consciousness. Our consciousness is bigger than our body, and then now there's a whole nother layer to think about is like frequencies and um like are we vibrating at a low frequency or a high frequency? And I'll send you a picture that actually makes more sense when you look at the frequencies. But I
I
don't
think
know. What do you guys
it's
think about that?
I think it's because we've been listening to the 440 our whole lives, but I think that the other frequency sounds eerie and creepy and wrong. Like we're raised musicians, we were raised like classical musically,
Mm-hmm.
and I've listened to some before in the original like frequency. I'm sorry, I'm lacking the proper
Yeah,
words. But the original frequencies, and it sounds so off and so wrong and not correct at all. Like it's
really.
everything music theory has told me not to listen to. Yeah.
I listened to, and I'll see if I can find the video. Um,
That's crazy that it can just give you like that feeling though, like just by the frequency of the music.
yeah, and I think it has to do with the frequency that's in your brain. Like your brain again is giving off these different frequencies. Like in that picture I just sent you, like the circles,
Hmm.
that's your frequency, and maybe
It's
yours
your
is
aura.
your aura. Maybe yours is higher than mine, but then you
Mm.
perceive different frequencies and different people at different
I
levels.
wonder if, do you know how there's those people, I don't know if they're like categorized in with mediums, but they're like, I can literally see people's auras. Do you
Yeah.
think that's like the color? And frequency has a lot to do with color, like because it reflects the light and everything. I wonder if that's what
We just
causes
have
that.
different ability. Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah, because if they maybe their frequency is like super high or super low and they're able to perceive other frequencies. I don't know. I wish Nikola Tesla was here and we could ask him.
Yeah.
Um
Yep.
one
But
of the
like
videos
you
I sent you. Go, are
it
you looking
does
at
make
it?
you wonder. I just watched that. It does make you wonder. Like obviously that's all the scientific versions, but I feel like again and again we have like our everyday versions where it's like I'm just complaining like she's slow, she's in my way, we don't conversate well, and like that's just our everyday version of describing
The
like us
vibes,
just being different at different like
different
Mhm.
levels, a
frequencies.
different
Mhm.
frequency, different
And if
vibes,
you
and
look,
like
you know what's interesting? If you watch the video that I just posted, what you just said makes sense. I know you can't like if you play it with the video with the sound on, they start at a super low frequency and then they end
mhm.
up going super high. So the super low frequency has these very basic images patterns that the beads are doing. So maybe that's what she's just focusing like she's functioning at a very low frequency, so she's very basic, can't figure things out. And if you're operating at a higher frequency, and again if you listen to this video and look at the things, as the frequency goes up higher, it makes all these crazy patterns. So of
That is pretty
course,
crazy.
if you're at a high frequency and you're like doing your job, you're coasting along, you're like, okay, I got this down. Of course, you're not going to vibe with the lower frequency because you're more complex and they're more basic, and it just doesn't get along. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, this sort of reminds me of um there's been things going around the internet where it's like, oh, are you somebody who has like an inner monologue? Like there's some people that are, I'm guessing they're such low frequency that they're not just sitting here thinking about things. Like they're not just
That's
sitting,
crazy to me.
allegedly. I don't know. I'm not one of them, so I don't know. I'm the one thinking about something stupid I said a few days ago, and I'm like, why did I say that? Are they thinking of me? And I'm like, they're not thinking of me, but they're probably
You mean
thinking
they
of me.
hear a voice that's like narrating?
My voice is
Um,
constantly like
That is
You hear your
one.
voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I hear my voice.
I'm just chatting to myself all the time in my head. And then people are like, what are you thinking about? And
That's how
I'm
I
just
get to
like,
random things. Like, I'll see my glass of wine and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I'm like, oh man, I love cups. Oh, I wish I didn't live in a trailer. Like, I wish I could have all these cups in my trailer because I can't. And I'm like, oh, live in a trailer.
mhm.
And then I'll say like one of those 7 thoughts and people are like, how'd you get there? And I'm like, well, this,
Well,
this. Yeah. Maybe
I
that's
don't.
just
I think those things,
ADHD.
like, but I don't hear my voice. They're just thoughts.
Maybe I don't hear my voice.
It's
it's a mix.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes
it's
I
as
do.
if someone is talking, but it's not. I don't hear my actual voice. Like I can.
I don't hear it as you would describe hearing things. It's like inside my head.
And it's talking.
But I
There's
think
no audio.
It's my inner monologue, and if I was thinking about how it was being said, it would be my voice, but I'm not often thinking about how it's being said. It's just the thoughts running through my head.
That's a good point.
That's going to be a fun one to deep dive into. Like, but I think that's just different frequencies. Like, obviously, how are you getting anything done when you're not thinking about things? When I'm over here being like, okay, on Friday, I have this to do. Like, I'm going to need to make a list to get all these things done. So then we'll have, and I think that might be just like a type of frequency. And then there's the people who wake up, they're like, okay, I guess I'll shower now. Like, I guess I'll figure out what I'm going to wear. Whereas I picked out what I was going to wear 4 days ago. And they're like, well, I guess I'm going to need a few of these things. So I'll stop by on the way there. And then they're late because they like needed to stop and get things. Whereas we're like 10 minutes early waiting for people, you know. I think different, the vibes. I like the mathematic vibes, the sciencey vibes.
Isn't that weird?
I do too.
That's something that we say all the time. Like, oh, that's just not my vibe, or oh, I get bad vibes, or oh, I just don't vibe with that person. But when you think of vibe is short for like what?
Vibration.
Like, literally vibration. So like your vibes, your brain waves, your hertz, your vibrations just literally don't get along with some people, or they're just not on the same level. So then that brings us back to like people who are on a really low level. If you want to level up or like attain something, you have to like live. If you want to be a rock star, let's say, you have to think about the vibes, like what brain waves, like what vibration level would you be if you were like a rock star? So then now like you can't manifest if your vibes are down here and those vibes are up here. So you have to match the vibes in order to jump into that reality. And that was Nikola Tesla's whole thing. And then just on a side note, which we're not going to get into because I didn't look into it, Nikola really loved he really loved quartz crystals specifically, and he thought that we could use the vibes and the hertz to somehow power the world with the crystals.
Wow. I like that. I'm hearing things outside, but nothing's on my Ring camera, so it's freaking me out.
Interesting.
I'm gonna write that down. I could use some quartz in my life.
Yeah.
Some quartz.
Why not?
Yeah, look into it. I'll send you a video.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I mean, Natalie, where are you at today? Let me guess, is it another like CIA government thing?
No, it's what I was talking about last week with the Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica.
Oh, shit,
which is
I remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot that you did a coming next week.
We'll jump in where I left off. So I told you guys about the story of this girl, Melissa. She's at work and she's just like
me.
Melissa, maybe this was her. She's just doing her thing at work, kind of just like, I'm here, but I just want to Google some random stuff. Like, I'm on the clock, but let me Google some random stuff to entertain myself. So she's like, I wonder what storms have my name. So on August 18th of this year, she Googles Hurricane Melissa. And lo and behold, what pops up? She's like, what the heck? Apparently the worst storm of this year and to hit Jamaica in 100 years is Hurricane Melissa, except it hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen in October of 2025. And I have screenshots of proof that she took the screenshot on August 18th. And it shows the Google search, Hurricane Melissa, saying October 2025. So as I said, I'll send you the screenshots and we'll post them on the Instagram so you guys can see it. So Hurricane Melissa is one of the most intense storms and violent storms to hit Jamaica in a century. So I pulled up the storm radar and the storm path because it does not look like a normal like if I told you guys this was a hurricane path, let me figure out how to turn this. I don't know how to turn this. Would you believe me if I said that was a hurricane path?
Wait, let me
No, 'cause
blow up my
aren't they
screen. I
normally
can't see.
arced?
Keep it on there.
They normally come around, right?
No, it's not normal hurricane path. Yeah, I would think
No.
because it's turning. Doesn't that
It
create some
normally
sort
goes,
of
whoop.
Well, normally it's like like they just like go across. So I'll give you kind of the rundown of the storm. So October 21st, the storm is still classified as a tropical storm. It's right below the Dominican Republic. And its trajectory, it's supposed to go west, just sweep right through the Caribbean, under Jamaica. I think it's supposed to go slightly north between like Cuba up into the Gulf. Whatever, like pretty normal for a tropical storm. At this point, the wind speed is 45 miles an hour. Again, this is October 21st. So continues that direction through October 21st. October 22nd, at 5 a.m., still tropical storm, 50 miles an hour. Then it starts doing like a weird little janky line. And it stays kind of in this area, like it's doing a weird like turn thing. Still tropical storm. Then it starts heading north. So October 23rd, it looks like it shifted a little bit north, still tropical storm, 45 miles an hour, going a little bit north. Then it backtracks and goes east. October 24th, still tropical storm. And then it cuts opposite direction again. So this time, October 25th, still tropical storm, wind speed 70 miles an hour. Let's jump into October 26th.
jump right in.
Sorry,
that's our theme song today.
Jump right in. So October 25th, 11 p.m. We'll go to. That's when it jumps up to a category 2 hurricane, wind speeds 105 miles an hour. Still, we're projected to go west. That's just what a normal storm in this area would do. It already backtracked a little bit and did some weird zigzaggy things, but the forecast on NOAA is saying, yes, gonna go west. Like that's a normal thing for the storm to do. And that was, what did I say? October 25th, 11 p.m. October 26th, 5 a.m., jumps up to a category 3 hurricane, still going west. And it's throughout the day. Let's see, October 26th. Yeah, that's when it, like that whole day, it ramps up to a category 5 hurricane and then makes a jagged 90-degree turn, more than 90 degrees, to go northeast instead of continue its western route. And another odd thing.
It's weird for a storm literally to go
to literally in one day go from like just ramp up to the most powerful storm in history. It actually ended up holding a world record for wind speed. And to make a over 90-degree turn in that time to go directly into Jamaica. And the weird thing about that as well is that storm, when it did that, it went offline for 11 hours.
That's a long
off of radar. You can't.
You said off last week. I thought maybe like a minute or two.
I thought it was like a glitch that like disappeared for like. I thought it disappeared for one frame. That's crazy.
No. It went offline for 11 hours, like off of the radar.
11?
And I don't know if you just couldn't track it or if they deleted something. I think they're probably trying to hide something in the radar. Because when you look at radar, you can hit the drop down and it gives you the 24-hour like sections to select. It only gives you 15 hours of that day to select. The others are just deleted. So you can't even look
Was
at the
that on
radar.
the same day that it made its turn, or
Let me pull up the exact day
because that would be
that it
interesting
did
that
that.
like all these large events are happening all at the same time, like the turn, the ramp up, and then just disappearing for 11 hours. What did the meteorologist think? Like, oh my God, we've been tracking this crazy storm. It's doing all these zigzags. It's so strong. Let's track it. Like evacuation patterns. Oh, we lost it.
We should
Yeah, it
have
was
used
the
our
satellite
connections to
view
get a meteorologist
that
on
was
here.
cut. And that's like the, I think, fourth hurricane that this year that it shows patterns of hurricanes cutting before they make landfall, like kind of disappearing off of the radar. But I think this was the most significant one. And here, let me see exactly what day it cuts. Over here at the radar.
At the radar.
Where is that? Select the 26th, right before it made that big turn. It goes off the radar for 11 hours. So yeah, I find that to be a little bit concerning, and just the path in general unnatural. And it possessed a minimum central pressure of 892 millibars, making it one of the most intense storms ever in the North Atlantic Basin. Yeah. And that contributes to the wind speed, is that pressure. But yeah.
Did you get any more information about why?
I don't know why it would go
Melissa?
offline other than they deleted it. But yeah, the
11
there's
hours
another thing where it
offline
says
is a
Hurricane
lot.
Melissa has officially entered the record books after scientists verified a wind gust of 252 miles per hour as the storm approached Jamaica last month. So yeah, record-breaking measurements and weird turns and going offline. Sounds like weather manipulation to me. Which I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, why would they do that? But I'm also like, why would we have spent billions and billions of dollars on technology, which, like, patents, we know we have this technology, the government spends so much money on it. Why would we have the technology and not use it? So that
And
gets
they would
into
for sure
why.
be testing it before they've announced that they've had it.
Unless they're testing it right now on Melissa. That would make sense.
We'll figure
Yes.
out in what, 25 years?
So then, I don't know. So another funny thing. So these are just other funny coincidences
Silly
that
life.
happened to me with Jamaica. So I told you guys, Kingston, Jamaica, was the newest city to be put on the smart city list.
Wait,
The
what's
whole,
a smart city?
like the digital everything, digital ID, Peter Thiel, Palantir, like the smart cities. LA was one.
I was gonna say
Maui was one.
Side note, I got my first digital ID at the bar and we're not legally able to take them. But somebody tried to show me
what that is.
so it's on her Apple ID. And so it just scanned her face and then it showed her photo at the top and then it showed like her address, her date of birth, the expiration date, and all of that. And it was just like on her phone. So she must have been a resident of LA. It said she lived in Pismo, but she must have been previously lived in LA or got her thing in LA.
No, I think it's there's now like an option to add your ID on Apple iPhones and something.
I wonder
like
if it's adding it
or step.
taking place of it. But yeah, legally still we're not allowed to take that at the bar.
Yeah, I think they're easing into it until they make it a normal thing.
When was this? This is the first I'm hearing about this.
Wait, so you said
I didn't talk about this.
Oahu or where in Hawaii?
Maui was supposed to be a smart city after their crazy fires.
Is it Maui an island?
Yeah.
So the whole island. I mean, it's small.
Yeah.
Okay.
LA again with the Palisades, where they're like, oh no, all of the houses are gone. We must rebuild now. Which there's weird things with the LA fires, which maybe I'll get into at some point too. But just coincidence that Kingston was on the 2030 like fully digital like smart city list, and it happens to be destroyed by one of the strongest hurricanes that have very It seems to have been led to Jamaica, I will say.
What is the point of the, and maybe we can get into smart cities another time, but like going off of that, so that would make sense if they destroyed it in 2025, they want to be rebuilt to be a smart city in
Yes.
2030. What is the government benefit of a smart city?
I don't know. I think it's like the
I
whole
don't know.
digital ID control, like they're like, oh, everyone has a digital ID. We can track them like this and that. I think they're just pushing towards
I'm gonna write this down as a potential.
that sort of thing. So yeah, I want to look into, I still need to do an episode on Peter Thiel and Palantir because that's a big thing too. But jumping into another thing is natural resources in Jamaica. So bauxite is like their largest natural resource along with limestone. And a weird thing, I guess I forget how to say it's Jiquan Iron and Steel Co. We're calling it Jisco. That's what it goes by normally. / Alport Bauxite are they're a big company in Jamaica, and they work out of, or I guess they found like an area in St. Elizabeth, which was absolutely destroyed by the storm in Jamaica. And they're proposing to mine nearly 700 of acres of land. However, before the storm, they're like, oh no, it's covered by like 11 different like communities, like residents live there. Like we can't mine there. But oh, now it's cleared. They can mine there. And a weird thing there, stakeholders in their company are the Chinese government is the biggest thing, which I found was just weird. So I don't know what is going on in Jamaica, but I am going to keep an eye on it because I don't know. I find it all to be very sketchy.
I agree.
There's a weird correlation, like you're saying, between these smart cities and things that they would like to mine, and essentially things that are getting in the way of their government plans. They're like,
yeah, like same thing with North Carolina.
What could happen?
Weird stuff with like the flooding and the lithium deposits, and then like FEMA. Like,
I wonder
I want to get FEMA.
If it
and
could
another
be
weird
sort
thing,
of like an anime or something, where it's like the government's the bad guys or the good guys, and then there's this like outside force who's like either a superhero or a supervillain that is just like make the water flood, and then
make
and
the
makes it
water
flood, or like has like the like Doofenshmirtz is like Maui will light on fire, or Maui too, but Malibu will light up on fire, you know? Like if it's the same force or if it's two different forces that are kind of battling each other under wraps.
That's a good point. We need to look more into them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to listen to more podcasts on them.
I know.
I want you to look into it so you could tell me about it.
Yeah, I'll have to do some more research because I was kind of just deep diving into like the storm data and like the weird turns and it going offline, and just like again how everyone here were like, we kind of just forgot about it. We're like, oh, Jamaica's fine. Like no one is fine there. Like a bunch of people died. This like it flooded. It's just like wiped out. And we're just like, oh, it was just a storm. It's not bad.
I'm not even a scroller. Like I don't scroll.
Nothing
often,
shows up. Yeah. It's like it was almost blocked.
I didn't even know about it. Like I really didn't even know about it.
So I think they don't want you to know.
Weird.
Just some strange coinkydinks.
Coincidental.
So
whoa, I can't wait to. I'm gonna look into smart cities because I just googled it real quick.
I never heard of smart cities either.
Jamaica needs to be a smart city, like just one city there. And basically, the overview is that the idea behind a smart city is to integrate technology and data, so data that they're collecting from your phones, from the smart whatever devices, to improve efficiency, sustainability, and quality of life for the residents. This involves using digital tools like information and communication technology called ICT and the Internet of Things, which is IoT, which is a thing, to optimize city operations. It could be anything from managing traffic and utilities to enhancing public service, citizen engagement. So they're for sure tracking people.
I'm trying to think of there's an Amanda Seyfried movie, kind of recent, kind of about like smart cities. Oh, what is it called? I will find it.
Send it to
And
me.
I
I'll
will.
watch it as part of my research.
I forget how to. Is it Seyfried or C? I always mess up her last name.
I don't know.
Amanda.
I knew exactly who Nat was talking about.
Yeah,
In Time. It's with her and Justin Timberlake.
I wrote a song about that.
Actually a decent movie. So I always say they hide everything in plain sight. I think they put things in movie that are actually true to desensitize us to it, to when it actually happens. But so it's a science fiction thriller set in the future where aging stops at 25 and time itself is currency. So you have these little like wrist, like Apple Watches, and you use them to like trade time, and you can buy things with time, like your life. And everyone gets to a countdown. And the city is all like everything is digital. Your thing is your lifeline to buy stuff. You can, and it's sectioned off by classes. So some people have like a billion years on their time thing because that's their money and their currency. So because you buy things with your time. So they're in like the big fancy part of the city, and then there's sections out, and you can't get into the nicer parts of the city with like low time. So in the outskirts, people are literally like dropping dead because they're like running out of time. They're like, oh, I can't pay my rent because like it costs like 5 years a month, and it's
That's
kind of
crazy.
an interesting.
That's an interesting concept.
It got
Yeah.
36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I thought it was good. I
don't
thought
know
it
how
was
feel about
decent.
Thrillers, but I mean, it sounds interesting.
It was interesting. I also just like Amanda Seyfried,
That's an
so
interesting
Yeah,
idea.
I like her too. Weird that she goes from that to Mamma Mia.
she's a good actress.
versatile.
She's diverse, versatile. Interesting. Well, I feel like I'm leaving here with more questions than answers, but that's
I feel
usually
like
how
that's
it
a good
goes
thing.
here. Always, yeah. I'm always like, what am I
Making
gonna
you
learn
think.
next? Yeah, smart cities is definitely something I'm interested in, and then its correlation with everything. I think
Because I've heard all of the talk about smart cities, but we haven't actually seen one yet.
Yeah.
you're like they're all still dumb. When did they start talking about smart cities?
I think I started hearing them like last year,
Oh yeah, then it's definitely takes
like
some time
Smart
now.
City Initiative, and I think LA was the first one that I heard about.
Well, none of us live in a city, so I feel like that's hard to.
Yeah. Well, another thing, with all of the wildfires, I think this is Canada. And the same place where they were banning people from going into the forests and stuff, where they're like, it's illegal, you can't go into the forest. I forget what their reasoning was, but I think we talked about it on the podcast. They limited it, the amount of deer that you're allowed to eat to 3 deer per year because apparently PCBs and or PFAS accumulates because of all of the firefighting like material. It's called, I think they use AFFF, I'm assuming, if they're talking about PFAS, which I don't think they're supposed to use anymore. But they're like, oh, because of all of the fires, the chemicals are in the deer, like, because they drink the water. So you can only drink or eat 3 deer a year. You just got to move to the city and shop at the grocery stores, I guess. And you can't go into the woods anymore. So
yeah, I mean, I could definitely see in like a fucked up world them setting it on fire just so they could drop chemicals without question, and to
Yeah.
infect the animals.
I'm like, why are they trying to keep people out of the woods?
The self-sufficient are going out to hunt to eat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that was. I think that was their. I think we talked about it where they're like, oh, there's too many wildfires. You're not allowed to go into the woods.
We mentioned a lot about it.
Yeah.
Can I leave you with a deer fact?
Yes.
Oh
We can
no,
sign
is it
up.
gonna?
That
Is
just
it gonna
reminded me.
scare us?
No. I just thought it was interesting. John told me the other day. Did you know that deer, when like in the wild, they don't drink from running water, so they don't drink from like streams or rivers because they're prey animals, and so they can't hear because the sound of the water. So they only drink from still ponds or puddles.
Really?
So-
And that makes them sick probably more often.
I was gonna say that that would make sense then
Yeah.
as to why.
Well,
anyway.
I think that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please give us a big thumbs up on YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, go there, subscribe if you're already there. Find us everywhere else. We are 17 Scooters Club, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
2 wheels are better than 4. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.